All right, good morning to everybody. Today is Monday, August the 3rd, 2026 at 9 o'clock a.m. Gonzales County Commissioners Court will now be in session. And we'll move to public comment. We have two listed, one on item number 6, and then also just the regular public comment. Mr. Ted Borak, it's all yours.
All right. Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. I was going to speak on this agenda item 6, which is about groundwater. And I didn't know, you want me to just go ahead and kind of hold my thoughts until we get to that item on the agenda, and then you want me to do it, or I can just do it right now too?
Whatever you want to do, we can do it either way.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead then and knock it out.
I mean, it won't be long before we get there.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, because if we have questions, then on the item we can ask right now.
Okay, good. Well, I'll just wait till then, okay?
Perfect.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's move into the consent agenda. The following may be acted upon in one motion. The commissioner, the county judge, or a citizen may request items to be pulled for separate discussion and or action. Gentlemen, have you had an opportunity to look over the consent agenda? Any questions?
Any comments? I move we approve the items listed as listed on the consent agenda.
Motion is second to approve the consent agenda as listed. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Deliberate and consider action on the following items. Number 5, update from Jimmy Harness regarding the drought conditions and the burn ban status.
Good morning. We're sitting at 447. So actually our KVDI number is okay. We've had a couple of little spot fires recently, and I can always tell when it's starting to dry up because we start getting those little road fires. Now, not anything drastic. I would say that in the next couple of weeks, if we don't get any rain and we can continue to dry up, then we will be pushing the 600 mark. But right now, we're okay.
A lot of fuel out there, though.
A lot of fuel. That's green now, that could turn brown. But currently, I think we're just fine.
Usually when it gets 26 to 7.
Usually when it gets, yes, correct.
Maybe it'll rain.
Regardless, it's still probably the prettiest July I can ever remember. In my house, I was in my house. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move to number 6. Consider and possibly take action on passing a resolution addressed to groundwater management area 13 and the Gonzales County Underground Water Conservation District, raising objection to GMA 13's proposed desired future conditions and excessive groundwater pumping in Gonzales County. Mr. Ted?
Okay. All right, thank you. I've spoken before about groundwater concerns, and so right now there is as part of the state water planning process where the groundwater management areas, these are designated areas under the Texas Water Code. Groundwater management area 13 includes Gonzales County Underground Water Conservation District and some other groundwater conservation districts, and they perform computer modeling and they set ultimately the pumping targets for the aquifers. And so they had adopted what they call desired future conditions, which is a term under the water code. Basically, it gets down to the pumping targets that are set for the aquifers, how much water to take down to draw down the aquifer. And the pumping rates on the aquifers are faster or bigger than the recharge rates. So the water levels are declining, and in the case of the Carrizo aquifer, those decline rates are actually becoming bigger over recent years. And so there was a hearing held by the Groundwater Conservation District on the 18th. They had public comment. A number of folks stood up and, submitted written comments and also made public comments. And then after that meeting, they also had after that hearing, they also had a special meeting to consider adopting a letter in opposition to the pumping targets and the desired future conditions that were adopted by GMA 13 back in April. And so I'm here today asking for a resolution by the county in order to oppose these increased pumping requirements that would be imposed on the county. We're actually on the Groundwater Conservation District, which also includes a portion of Caldwell County. But the concern is that excessive pumping would create, according to the GMA 13 zone computer models, would desaturate parts of the Carrizo outcrop and cause a decline in the streams that are in the outcrop area. And the concern is that the 9 factors, there's all these different factors, but 9 factors that should be considered when they're setting these DFCs have really not been fully considered. And so I provided copies of the resolution, and I'm available for questions, anything you want to ask, I'll tell you what I know. And so, anyway, that's the intro.
I went to that meeting on that Saturday that was here, and it was the guy from Laredo, Webb County, or was it Webb County?
Oh, right.
That the GMA 13 is actually, of course, they don't have a water district from what I understand,
Right.
but it's definitely affecting all the way towards down there from what he was saying.
Right, Dr. Fernan spoke, I guess, on behalf of Webb County, and they were actually considering, if I remember right, considering litigation against GMA 13, which potentially, I guess, could spill into the member groundwater districts, which would include Gonzales County Conservation District. So,
One question I've had, that GMA 13, is that defined by population centers, by the aquifer? What defines the shield?
right, GMA 13 has 8 member groundwater conservation districts. Gonzales is one of them. And so overall, they all join together, they're contiguous, and going down, to Webb County. And they include the Carrizo, the Wilcox, Queen City, Sparta, Jackson. And so they include all of the aquifers within that boundary. And so they get together, each district or each groundwater conservation district has a member representative. Gonzales District, Conservation District has a member, and then they get together, they go through groundwater models, they run all these different scenarios, and then ultimately they have to make a decision and propose how much pumping are we going to include in these DFCs. And once these DFCs are adopted, these desired future conditions, or in other words, pumping targets, then they are used by those entities that are wanting to impose additional pumping and additional export in order to pump water and then take it out of the county. And so the concern is that you've got so much pumping and so much export that the local folks, who right now only hold 23% of the total Carrizo Wilcox permits, that they won't, they will be restricted, and then you don't get up to having enough water to serve the local needs. So that's kind of how it works.
Well, that's what I was wondering was, if it's population based or in the representation we have, like if we're a rural minority and there's a bigger entity that has more voting and needs more water, it'll just go to them.
Right. Well, it's a great question, because GMA 13 is established by territory. Okay, each of these groundwater conservation districts has its own boundary, and so I guess in that regard, it's kind of like, well, like senators, it doesn't really matter how much population you have. A senator, whether it's from a big state or a little state, they each get one vote. But the thing is, the influences, when you get down to it politically, the way it really works is the heavy influences come from the entities that have a lot of population so even though it's not written into the Texas Water Code about how much influence a particular area gets over, with respect to population, the reality is that state water planning process, whether it's a GMA or a Region L, they are heavily influenced by the folks that have votes and the population and that have the biggest demand for the water. Long answer.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything to say on number 6? I know that you can sign up for public comment, but.
And I know we've got these scenarios, I know they've been predicting for the last more than 50 years. How do these current scenarios, how accurate are they? If you look back from what they projected, 20, 30 years ago, where we are now, are they pretty much accurate, or?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I have not seen, other than my own analysis, I haven't seen out of GMA 13 or Region L any analysis which just shows that does kind of tracking to see, how did our model compare against, the recent data from this last 5 years. One thing I do know is that the GMA 13 process is resulting in kind of a moving of the goalpost. And so if you look at the last set of DFCs that they said and that they put out, and you run the math on the monitoring well decline rate, what you find out is that, and that was supposed to be, those DFCs were set in 2021, and looking at a time horizon all the way out to 2080. And so what you find, at least from what I have found, is that the decline rates are significantly faster than what GMA contemplated in their prior DFC set. And so when I look at it now, they are wanting basically a doubling of the pumping in the Gonzales district. And so even though the decline rate is accelerating, they want to double pumping. And so now I think that they have underestimated the amount of water that's actually in the aquifer. And they have done some analysis that showed, and then it came through this last time, which was what was so alarming to the to our groundwater district, is that the amount of water in the aquifers isn't near as much as what they used to think. And so models over time, they have new software or upgraded software, they get more data sets, so they're able to do better analysis now than they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. But it sure looks like they are underestimating the amount of water. So the old DFCs, when you look at them, they would not have worked. We would have already exceeded them on one of the monitoring wells. And when you look at over the next 10 years, a number more of those monitoring wells would have been below the DFC level. So I think the modeling is getting better, but the past models have a lot of work.
Because it is just, there's not definite quantity, it's an estimate of what's there. They don't know for sure.
But, right, the region water planning process, it's pretty rough. It's done on a very big scale, and one thing I've always heard from the Water Development Board is the detailed analysis when it comes to looking at localized impacts, subsidence, impact on water quality. All of that is really on the shoulders of the local groundwater district. And so it's a difficult scenario because the GMAs adopt pumping targets, but then it's ultimately the local groundwater district has the burden of trying to explain to those that are filling out the big applications for large volumes of water, they got to explain to them, look, there's localized impacts that were not analyzed by GMA.
All the more reason to be involved with the local groundwater district and let your concerns be heard.
Right, and I think in this last special meeting that the groundwater district had, there was a lot of support for opposing the VFCs. You know, especially in this planning round, they have really swung for the fences on this one. And so, and many of these, they call them pumping inputs, but many of these pumping numbers, for example, they've got 27,000 acre-feet a year of pumping out of the Wilcox aquifer, which is below the free zone, that is basically without explanation. They you know, somehow or another, behind the scenes, I guess, somebody got it plugged in. The GMA 13 is basically a pre-permitting process where various entities, they want their water for their project that they've got envisioned or in their plans. They want that water into these models so that it can then be sent along to the Region L water planning process, and then they will eventually apply for a permit to get this volume of water and receive their state funding because they're in the region plan. The problem is lack of transparency and public information being available to tell the folks before all of this goes down, just, you know, how much water and where do they want to pump it and who's looking for it. But there's a lot of mystery behind just how did they get here.
Read the resolutions. Can you read the resolution? Have you seen it? Haven't seen it. And even looked over it also.
Davis, may I just make one small comment?
Sure.
I think the biggest problem that people don't understand is under GMA 13, they're overseen by SAWS. And SAWS is going to do what is in their best interest, not the other participants.
Now, Region L, is GMA 13 a subset of Region L, or is Region L, are we under Region L, or how?
Right, Region L is a different water planning group that implements what they call water management strategies, which are the different pumping projects. Could be a surface water project, like a reservoir, but different well field projects, groundwater projects. Region L, Gonzales County Underground Water Conservation District, is their territory is within Region L. But Region L consists of 21 different counties. They have a lot of different voting members. So it's a bigger territory, but their function is really more about getting water management strategies or the water projects identified for the additional pumping. Their reports are huge. This last one was like 1,100 pages, but it covers a lot of different material. It's supposed to consider all the potential impacts. You know, the water code requires 9 different factors to be considered when setting DFCs. These DFCs then go on into or used by Region L as part of the overall planning process, and then that's where these different projects are identified. And so it's complicated. You know, it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of water code around it, and there's a lot of folks involved in it. And there's a lot more going on than what you can find just looking at the websites.
Right, there's a lot of moving parts and to identify how both individually impact us in our county. It's hard to get a number or a clear view of what's going on.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's a lot of work. Just so we're, to avoid any confusion, this is not about just stopping all pumping, okay? There's a lot of local folks that need water, whether you're an irrigator or a local township or somebody with a business. And so it's not about shutting down pumping. It's about doing it in a more responsible way so that we don't have safer, they call it desaturation, but there will literally be parts of the outcrop, which is the recharge zone that creates the aquifer, that according to GMA 13 zone models, will be desaturated by the end of this term. And desaturation means literally there's no water left in the well. One of the groundwater district monitoring wells, well number 4, is currently at 25% saturation. So as far as the aquifer thickness goes, you get your aquifer thickness, and there's only this much water left in the monitoring well. So what we're trying to do is avoid just desaturation of farms and ranches, and to get it done in a much more responsible way. So it's turning the ship, and it's tough. It's tough to turn the ship.
You got the chance to look at all
And Donnie's name's on there, Judge, right?
We'll change it.
Or I'll go back there and fix it.
Reprint it.
Whoops.
It's okay, you're thinking.
Oh, you were-
Does that catch
I
up?
can go fix it. Yes,
You gone?
Yeah.
yes.
All good.
Good deal, Will. Anybody have any questions? I move we approve the resolution addressed to the groundwater management area 13 Gonzales County Underground Water Conservation District, raising objection to GMA 13's proposed desired future conditions and excessive groundwater pumping in Gonzales County.
I'll second.
All right, had a motion and a second for item number 6, passing a resolution addressed to the groundwater management area 13 in Gonzales County Underground Water Conservation District, raising objections to GMA 13's proposed desired future conditions and excess groundwater pumping in Gonzales County. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. We just need to get, she's gone.
She's fixing it.
She's gone, all right. So while we're waiting on her to bring that back, I will round file this one under that, and we'll move on. Oh, never mind, she's that fast, look at that. Ted, thanks for all the information.
Thank y'all.
All right, we'll move towards number 7. Discuss, consider, and take action to award a contract to Texas Land and Right-of-Way Company for acquisition services on the GLO, CDBG, MIT Mod Waterline Improvement Projects, contract number 24065-137 E995. And what this is the water line that's running out north on your area, that out of 97 that we've extended, that we have received it. Langford had sent in the companies that had put in to do the work for the acquisition. Daniel Pepin with the Gonzales County Water Supply scored it, and I went over it and scored it, and I believe that our scores that came out that we would use our local company here. I don't know if y'all got that. The scores are on the back side here. Which we have it. We've sent through Langford and awarded the contract to Texas Land and Right-of-Way Company for the acquisition. The different companies. Somewhere in Houston, surrounding areas, so. Make sure that, Gonzales County Water is involved in it, so they know what they're doing and what they're getting, so. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that apply. Yeah, it's extending the Gonzales County water line out towards, I guess, was that 283 and all out in there? And up 97.
It all starts right there.
Somewhere in that area.
How long is it?
I don't know exactly how long it is, but it's going.
I know the city wants to back that there, schedule is.
But this thing has been going on for a little while now.
Good interest in. Okay.
Yep.
Close.
Anybody else need? Y'all good?
Question.
Yeah, contract to do it, and be overseen by.
Yeah, well, Langford's doing it, yeah.
I move we approve as per the spec sheet there, the Texas Land and Right-of-Way Company for acquisition service on the GLO Mod Waterline Improvement Project.
All right, motion and a second to award the contract to the Texas Land and Right-of-Way Company for acquisition for the GLO CDBG mid-project water line, project ending in E995. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving to number 8, discuss with action optional road and bridge fees, Texas tax assessor and collector.
It's just your annual renewal of road and bridge fees that are added to the registration and renewal notices.
We're gonna leave them the same? Any reason to change?
It's $10, it's added to each renewal, except farm plate, farm trailer plates.
What are the population requirements? I know it can be $10 to $20, correct? Up to $20.
$10 is the maximum.
But it says,
$10 is the maximum.
it says $20 for those meeting population requirements under that subsection. Is that applied?
Yeah, I mean, we're not over the million.
That's what
There's,
they-
there's like 4 counties that they can charge
But that's,
$20. Like
that's what-
Harris County and Dallas County or something,
right, but that's the million, you gotta be over $1 million or whatever for that.
right?
Yeah,
It's been since like 1991 or something. I don't know, I'd have to look at the statute. Since the 90s, we've been charged,
10?
you can charge up to $10. You can lower it, but you can charge up to $10. And then you can also add the child safety $1.50 fee on for whatever, and then you have to send the $1.50 on to wherever that goes. You don't keep that.
Just leave it as it is.
I don't see no reason changing it. It's $10, $10 for 30 years, just leave it $10 or go down. But you do which one?
I move we approve the optional road and bridge fee and leave it $10 as it is.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the optional road and bridge fee, leave as is with no change. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move into number 9, discuss the 2026 tax rates. So since I've been in office, this is a first for me on the no new revenue rate tax being higher than the voter approval rate. So to me, there's a lot of factors that are involved in that with property from the oil well is not appraised as much as it was, which it looks like we're down to approximately $2 billion or somewhere in there, so it went down. Hopefully that may change. That's one of our big bread and butter deals for Gonzales County. And then also, I still question, do not understand how our state sales tax is down $500,000. I have no idea. I don't think people have quit spending or anything, but it's down $500,000. So that sets us in a position to where it's hard for us to, if we went with the no new revenue rate, then that would have to go before voter. Since the voter approval rate is less, the no new revenue rate for this year, that would bring in the amount of money that we received last year during the taxes is 0.3657. However, the voter approval rate, and then we also have the voter approval rate with the unused increment rate. The voter approval rate is 33.3341 cents, and then the the unused increment rate would be 34.79. And as y'all can see in there, that by going with the voter approved rate on the unused increment, it would bring us in a minus $1,601,000 than what we had last year.
That's,
Well,
the
no.
1.6 is the additional levy less from what the no new revenue.
From what the no new revenue rate was
Yeah,
last
so
year.
you have to use the
Yes.
the no new revenue is your base amount.
The
So-
base amount of what we, yeah.
So everything over in the right column, the no new revenue is the base amount on each of those, so.
Minus the
Right, so
the revenue rate.
Yeah, the bar unadjusted, that's the difference between what the no new revenue would bring in, and then the bar adjusted is the difference between that 17.6 and then the 18.5 of the no new revenue. This is not baked, these, I can't, when I give this governing body summary, I don't base this year versus last year, because that's not the way the tax rate works. The only thing that I base this year versus last year is when I do the notices that go in the paper. That's a requirement. Those notices have to show what the average homeowner pays in taxes versus this year versus last year. But this that I give to the entities, this is based on the no new revenue. I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, Sean, do you have anything to add on anything?
And then I did break it down at the bottom for you guys, in case you were wondering on the, what each of those would be as far as how much would go to your maintenance and operation and how much would go to your interest and sinking. Each of those rates, of course, your interest and sinking your debt is going to be the same amount. The only thing that's going to fluctuate between each of those rates is going to be your maintenance and operation.
What do you recommend? 3479?
Yeah, I would recommend the 3479, which is one of,
And then just a deficit that we absorb basically.
that we would just have to absorb it. We don't have much choice. So we ain't gonna go to the voters for the 3657.
Right.
And I know, Shauna, we've been doing some figuring that we can probably
Make that work.
make it work at the 3479.
Fund balances and whatnot. Utilizing that.
Yeah. I don't know if everybody's gotten that yet.
So this was one that's emailed Friday, I think.
Yes. I don't know if everybody's got a
Good,
copy.
you
of
sent
that.
everybody a copy of this fiscal year stuff. Is that what you sent?
Yeah, we'll get about that later. I mean, during our workshop.
Oh, yeah, we can go over that. So basically, what we do is that we will propose the VAR adjusted with the unused increment rate of .3479. And then it would be, we would take a vote on it, schedule dates, and then there would be a public hearing for them to come in. So this would be a proposed rate, not the actual set rate.
But what we propose is that you go down, you just can't go up.
You can go down, but you cannot go up.
A working number.
Yeah, a working number, that's a good way to put it, so. And it's like, hopefully the oil field will, hopefully they're drilling some wells or something. I mean, it's sad to have that big of a hit.
We're on 9 or 10?
We are on, 9.
9.
So we've discussed it. Anybody have any more discussion on 9? All right, we'll move to number 10. So number 10 is to propose a 2026 tax rate, take a vote, and schedule dates for one public hearing. As county judge and budget officer for the county, I will propose the voter approval rate adjusted for the unused increment rate of 0.3479. All right, had a motion and a second for the voter approval rate adjusted for the unused increment rate of 0.3479. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, rate. All right. So we're going to move into the budget workshop.
Yeah, just schedule a date for the hearing.
Oh yeah, we got to schedule a date for the hearing, yeah. Thank you. I just think y'all already have all that set ready. Need 7 days?
I prepared notice, get the notice to the paper, it has to be in the paper at least 7 days prior. Deadline's tomorrow at noon, and we will paper Thursday. So it has to be at least 7 days after Thursday. And then you have.
County weekends?
I myself have never used the weekends when I count. I mean, you can,
So the 17th would be the next one, that's the 7th day. Excluding, that's excluding the weekends. We know that I'll be here on the 24th, and we need everybody for the tax rate, right? Nothing changes.
We'll adopt, we're not gonna adopt till after we adopt the budget on September 8th. See how that worked out? Great.
Great.
Unless you just wanted to do 17th,
Your choice.
Should do the 17th. Do the 17th.
We have to 17 scheduled as the date.
So you want to amend that motion? You want to amend that motion, or if you're scheduling the dates for the motion?
Yeah, if it work, I believe we set the date of August 17th, they take things to
Motion is second for the 17th of August, 2026 to be the public hearing. Any further on the tax rate? Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? All right. So y'all want to take 10 minutes before we hit budget workshop? All right, everybody, we're going to be on break until 5 till the hour. It is 9:45. There's a glare on that thing.
times are going, isn't it?
A lot of people, they don't.
I got down the hall.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Oh, yeah.
All right, I guess Gonzales County Commissioners Court be back in session. It is about 10:57. We're running just a little late, but we're back. All right. We'll go to you. Where we going? Which way you want to roll?
I handed out the papers between the differences, what we're projected, one with just the way the budget is now with the expenditure, revenues coming in for next year, and then one if y'all propose a raise.
And this is at the 3479.
Right. Then y'all have, email those to the revenues and expenditures where we're at right now. So that'll be our, email that with. I just highlighted what, this is the requested right now, which are requested expenditures. And this will be the revenue that will come
And on this one is figured on the 75, 80, and 24,
Yes,
20.
I
And that
understand
can
that.
change a little bit. We did, you said we could do maybe a 70, 30 also if we needed to do that.
I can still,
And what we're saying on that is what money is coming in, what goes to general fund, and what goes to road and bridge. So basically, in the past, we've always tried to, hopefully end the year with whatever the general fund came in as, with nobody spending their entire budget, and then also what road and bridge comes in at the end. Because understanding anything that you come in on the end that you're over what your budgeted goes towards your fund balance. And we've always tried to end, I think to me personally, as the county judge or the administrator of the deal, I would like to see it not go less than probably $1,500,000 at the end of the year, to try to stay at 1.5 million, because that's something that we can use for any type of emergencies or anything that happens that's there and that's available. In the past, I thought maybe that the 2 million was high, but I think anywhere between the 1.5 and 2 is probably great, because that gives us some for our next year operating expenses.
You said the doctor was recommended, kind of, house doctor,
Yeah.
give us
When we always come in, they always say that we're sitting good because of the way we end. So,
right.
so I would take that into the thought is that's where we need to try to end it. So, by looking at it for the fiscal year this way, the only one that is in precinct 2, which I know that you're brand new at this here, and I know some of the stuff is depleted, and I'm not going to blame anybody for anything, but it's something that we got to address, to look at, and to correct and fix, and we can do that. But it's gonna have to take a little bit to be frugal on what we're doing. So she has one here, and again, Shauna and I have discussed, and I know us as the court has discussed, on the last year, our employees, we ended up with a little bit to them, which was $1,100. I still really want to do my best to try to get everybody a dollar raise this year. By saying that, we're gonna have to be frugal in some points, because I think on the general fund side, it's about $409,000, 415, and then on the road and bridge side, it's right around 90 total. So basically, at the rate we're going, we're pretty good, but Bobby, we gotta work on precinct 2. And we just get together and try to figure it out, because each year we're coming at the deal, you can see that at the end of the estimated year where you would remain, and then if we did a dollar raise, where you would remain. And we need to try to get that to a happy medium.
Because these numbers that are projected here is like if we spend everything in our budget.
Yes.
So any savings that or anything that we didn't spend this year will add back.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Yeah, so
And-
your number could be better depending on where you invest.
So that's the biggest deal. And then another thing I'm just trying to look at different aspects is that if, we had discussed it before, and I know that depending on y'all guys, tell me how many employees do you think a road and bridge needs? I mean, if we could try to set it, I would not want. I mean, anybody that's currently would be working now, be there till they retire. I would never, by attrition. But if y'all wanted to set something, y'all between yourselves of, we need 7 or 8 employees max. That's something that y'all can consider. That's like right now. I know we're kind of different. I don't know. You've got 7, 8, 7, and you got 6, and you got 9 plus the one that you haven't filled, right? You're not gonna do it. So that's what I'm saying is that. So the one thing that makes a difference between all of y'all's precincts is your salary line is with the way it was before is right at $1 million. Now I ain't saying that you don't need help or you don't need people, but I mean I've talked to all 3 and everybody has a different opinion, and I don't want to get in the middle of all of that. But if we could sit there and figure that out, if y'all wanted to, I know it's probably right at that. With benefits and everything, you could probably just be and say 100,000. That would be pretty dang close. I mean, maybe less than that, but somewhere in there. And the thing about it is, if you did set a deal, and if something happened in the future that we got really busy, I mean, you can always address it in another budget to increase or add or whatever the case may be. But I just know over the years, it just seems like precinct 2 just kept adding an employee, and I never said anything, and then because I don't know what your job is. I mean, you may need it, but it just Well, I understand that, but everybody on the paper that I have is pretty much exactly the same on the amount of roadways, given 20 to 30 mile difference. I've got that paper in there. I think it's in my office. You got the good end of the deal, yeah. You don't have all the oil field. But anyway, we just need to work through this, and yes, right now we're in times when we're going to get out of it. We never had it before since I've been in office, but with the rebuilding of some of the items that we're going to get done, we'll get back. And just can't speak for the oil field, but that's one of our big things. And our tax, and I think it's not just only us; it's every other county that's around us is facing the same dilemma. It's not just us. So you look at our budget and our tax rate compared to our surrounding counties with the same amount of population. I know the only one that's exactly compatible with us is Karnes, and I know they're having struggles too over there with what they're doing. And I've talked to Judge Hedke, and it's like, We don't have a whole lot of business or new stuff that's coming into Gonzales to offset that. I know we do have Synergos that's coming in that'll get started. That will be a deal. I know we got a little bit on some of that. Roy, did you ever figure out on how much of that solar is in our county over there in your area?
Around, no, not really. I need to look at the map on it.
Because I haven't seen anything on money coming in from that. I mean, it's in our county. There's got to be something that's being taxed on that, and we really need to look into that. Try to figure out what's going on. And I know the one out here on the Harwood Road, if it starts, I mean, 2028, I think, is when they will.
Quite a bit of it's on that, when it's operates on this side. We got the substation and all the.
We got the substations on our side.
Right. It's gonna
That's
be-
interesting because I haven't seen any revenue or anything that's come in from that, and it's operational, right?
Right.
I mean, unless we're getting shafted on that and don't know it.
We didn't do any tax abatement, we never got approved. So
Actually-
why would the county did anything?
I don't know, but they actually have never, I have never talked to anybody on that solar farm out there, and it's in our county. I think that's something that we probably need to dig into because, I mean, if
If it's operational, there should have been some tax.
We gotta be getting
revenue.
something.
Well, no, there should be, yeah, because it's,
unless it's listed in the tax revenue on something that I don't know what it's talking about, but I don't know. So,
it's not owned by like a city public service or a government entity, it's non-taxable. Do you know, did y'all have to do anything on that, Jimmy, as far as fire suppression and whatnot?
We've got some training scheduled with those big battery storage units that are coming in there. I asked Mr. Liker, I don't know, a little while ago, how the appraisal district assesses the tax on stuff like that. Really didn't get a good answer. I would highly encourage the judge or the court to ask Mr. Liker exactly how they're taxing those entities, because I'm not sure that, I worked at the appraisal district in Weldon County for 3 years. I'm not quite sure how they're doing that, and I didn't get a really good answer.
I know the one that they're building outside of Nixon, you know, the school is gonna generate a lot of revenue from that one. It's in Wilson County, but it's in their school district, and I know it's quite a big.
It wouldn't hurt to ask him.
Actually, I had a meeting the other day in Railroad with a fellow contractor, and they sent me an agreement on the agreement stuff on that solar farm. So that's got to be it, sure.
you got the agreement?
No, they're supposed to be sent.
I'd like to see it because, I mean, they've done this stuff in the county and they haven't talked to any of us.
I hadn't seen nothing either, and I didn't know what the maintenance was on the gravel road or what the agreement was. But he's supposed to be sending it.
But regardless, if there's something that they've got to be
We're not doing
taxed on, wouldn't y'all think the same thing? I mean, I just don't know. I need to, I
Well, no,
guess.
because it's not farm and ranch ag use anymore, so that, not only the ag valuation, but the equipment and the.
And I don't know how the appraisal district triggers the rollback on, the 5-year rollback on property if it's been under an ag. But I would expect Mr. Lifer can explain that to you. And I'm just not sure exactly how they're doing that.
You know, like there's stuff out here on Harwood Road, we don't see the way it's going right in.
Yeah, they give me
And they're not breaking ground till today.
Bringing in like on taxes?
yeah,
Oh,
it's,
good.
I have it in there. They brought it by to me. I think it's amortized over 25 years.
With depreciation?
With depreciation, it starts off, it's not, to me, it's not a huge amount. I mean, I think the first year, if I remember right, it's like 1.4 million, and it goes to 1.2, and then it drastically goes down, and I think by the 25th year, it's $200,000, which is not much of anything. You would think that something like that would bring in more money, but they never came to us on anything, so,
And that's property valuation and taxes, or is
Yeah.
that?
you want me to grab it? You want to look at it? Let me grab it.
So I know that there's different ways to appraise things like that on the commercial side that generate different, obviously the company's in it to make money or they wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
So there's a way to, and I'll certainly defer to the appraisal district, they're the experts, but there's an income taxable way to be able to assess that value on the amount of income that property brings in. I don't know that they do that, I just don't know. But they have to do it with the oil field stuff. You can't just go out there and just tax equipment. That doesn't make a lot of sense when they're making millions of dollars.
You would think it's an opportunity.
It's kind of like that fellow I did this solar farm on Farmer Road. He said he wasn't going to use any of our county roads. I don't know how he's going to fly in there or what he's going to do.
Yeah, excuse my French, but that's a pile. Right, whatever.
We're going to have to go back to that.
You have to bring the crane in to set that.
They don't have substation built. You know, now they're going to go in and put all, I don't know how they're going to
Is
do
he
it.
the one that said he's gonna run goats on it?
Sheep,
Well, I know the one that they're building in Nixon, the county would not let them use the county road. They had to rent the property from an adjacent landowner that comes off the highway. But they said you cannot utilize that county road for the entrance point to your substation, to your facility.
Interesting.
I don't know how they did that, but evidently they
Yeah.
do that.
Interesting.
So the Starling Solar tax estimate that they brought to me as of November 2025, that they would actually start paying until 2028. The 2028-29 tax payment, just for the county itself, would be $1,240,000. That would be that year. And then the second year, it would drop to $1,155,000. Third year would be just $1 million. Fourth year, $900,000, and it goes all the way down to 25 years, and it's like, it starts, I guess, after 9 years. The last payment on the 9 year, it was down to $329,000, and then from then on to 2025 is $248,000. That's
So that would that affect our next budget cycle? So this is
wouldn't be till the one after that, I would guess.
Next, it's 28.
It's saying 28, yeah, but they haven't even started anything over there. I don't know how fast they're gonna build
Is that
it.
the one you said they're breaking ground on, Roy?
They've started it?
they're going to start the 1st of July this week. August. So it'll all be this week.
And I mean, this is a project that's supposed to be a 144 megawatt project. And the other question is that I've been told that they're going to raise sheep under the panels. So I'm curious to how that affects the agricultural value of the land.
I think that they're not going to qualify for ag exempt.
But I had asked Lyford, and he said there is a possibility. Yes, and I don't understand it, and I haven't had enough time to really get in depth to try to figure that out.
Well, I've seen several going to a conference, just horrible, and growing up. Weeds, brush, grass, trees.
Well, that would have to be something in the contract through the landowners on keeping it neat and clean. I mean, we don't have any control over that I know of, you know. If anything different, I mean, it's,
When you drive by, when it's out down, big old globe everywhere. The sun's out.
but I mean, that's the possibility of some money that will come in the future, but, so we get back on the budget part now, just trying to let y'all know what's going on.
Need something going up, not going down.
Ain't much, but it's a little something.
So we need to work something out with Bobby's precinct or do something.
Well, we need to try to get him, and of course, I'm gonna give Bobby all the credit because he's come in here and you got what you got. Okay, you received what you received. We just probably need to work in to try to figure out to get you back to where you need to be and then roll from there. Which, okay.
You got one more probably gonna retire at the end of the year, right? I'll donate one of my guys, if he needs some help till he gets himself back in place. I'll sure send somebody over, wherever he needs, I'll try to get him back where he needs to be.
Yeah. we're just working, I mean, 'cause you're new to this, we're gonna get it, we're gonna get you where we need to be, but it's just right now, we're in a little pickle, but
I
we,
mean, I'll do that, I don't know if that'll help, but
Well, in the past, when we did our funding for the precincts, we kind of moved some funds around. There was years where, I got less and other precincts got more. We just tried to keep it all equal.
yeah.
And again, my fund balance is doing well and got some stuff, saved up, so I don't mind, if we need to shift a little over to help equalize.
To even it out.
Yeah.
you send some of that from here.
You're good.
So my question is to y'all, I mean, I'll just pose it to you, Bobby, could you do it with 8 guys and yourself? I mean, that's just a question, I mean, I don't know the answer to it.
I'll try,
Okay,
I'll try.
okay,
Because I'm pretty sure this man's gonna retire.
okay. Well, don't force them,
No, he's ready.
because the thing about it is even if we did it, let's say if we just said that, Road and Bridge will have 8 people, that's what we would pass. I mean, if you had 9 or whatever, till that person decided to retire, they have their job with the county. I mean, that's just the way it is.
And I may have 7.
But anyway, all right, so if we can figure out how we can get this for the fiscal year,
What did we end up doing on that 1.5 million set aside?
I think what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna just take that one, we're gonna leave the point, we'll leave the 0.5 in
Totals
them
on this sheet is just with the 500,000. I took the million out.
on these that we have.
Yes, this same thing. Yeah, the million is out of there. It's just 500,000 right now.
And the money we set aside in previous years is there.
In general fund.
It's, yeah, it's just sitting in.
And
That's your total. Your total is with that money.
With that. So so what we're saying, we'll have to come up with 900,000 from.
No,
No,
no.
that's just the minus, the
Difference, yeah.
difference,
Yeah,
the difference
so-
in what we should be getting.
But if everything played out on paper as projected, that's how we would. Now, I know we usually have more left over, we don't spend, and it.
Yeah, and we're going to not spend everything that should be spent.
Yeah, but we always figure it on the end that we're gonna spend everything.
Right,
And then when
figure the
people come in
98%
frugal, then
collection.
we that's icing on our cake.
Right.
You always figure the low and hope and see what happens on the other side. Yeah.
So really, we just need to, if y'all want to do a raise, y'all don't want to do a raise, $1 or 50 cents, whatever y'all decide.
Well,
So we
I really want, I mean, I'm gonna speak for myself and y'all can cut my throat later, but I want everybody, I wanna go for a $1 raise because I think our employees deserve it. They didn't get a whole lot last year. And, this county wouldn't run without these folks. That's just me. I mean, that's from the sheriff's office to all of our workers, y'all's road and bridge. I mean, and y'all go to the gas pumps and y'all eat. I know if you eat steak, you spend a lot more, and I mean the cost of living has just gotten higher. And if we can, I want to take care of the employees.
We don't have them, we run.
That's right. They can beat on me however they want anywhere else, but I mean I'm going to go for the folks that make it. And I have visited with Shauna. I have put pencil to it also, and I think that we can do it on this one side. I mean, if I didn't think we could do it, I wouldn't do it. But it is going to take something from everybody, including myself, all the other offices, to try to be frugal this year. I mean, if you need something, get it. If you don't, try to make it through. And like I say, that's kind of where I stand. And if Precinct 4 will assist on some of the stuff, we can make this across the board straight and evened out, and then everybody after that, you're on your own. That's what that's what I'm saying.
Judge, as I mentioned a week ago, if y'all would like to use Senate Bill 22 money out of my budget for the $1, we could surely do that.
For your guys.
Yes, sir, we can pay all of the law enforcement out of the Senate Bill 22.
What about the jailers?
I don't know if we can, I don't think so, I think it's just peace officer. But that'll cover the sheriff's office on the $1 if you'd like, we'll take it out of Senate Bill 22. It's not at 60,000 or so, but that's 60,000 you don't have to come up with.
So then that would put it in the 300,000. Just more work for you, Shauna, to do.
Any eraser on that pencil?
So if we're doing this on Shauna's numbers with the dollar raise, this is where we would look at, Commissioner Boatwright, how we can even it out, you make a decision.
Like I said, the percentages I can work with and
Yeah, well, we can do it on the percentages this year since you're there, just to give more on the
Yeah,
size
I
to
think
the
we-
other.
I'll start working with them and kind of show you what I have.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Start that part from there.
But this one here was actually figured on the 75-80
Right, exactly what we've been doing for the last couple of years.
and 24.
And Road and Bridge was the .2420.
How much would the 70-30 change it? I think we would still probably be all right on the general fund side, wouldn't we?
The general fund will be around 5.7 we end with. Yeah, I would like that to be 6-ish.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna move it up just a little bit.
But this is also depleting everything too, so we may have a little bit to play with on that. Okay.
I think on the road and bridge side, we can, like you're saying, we can do that a little bit.
Right.
Help precinct 2 out.
Yeah.
What else we got? We need to leave it out. What do we got?
What else we got? If we roll with that, we'll mess with the numbers on the percentage split from the ad valorem, and then we can roll from there and we can get something more.
We'll do $1.
Is that all employees, is that part-time?
That's all employees. Part-time only gets the smaller amount, but still would get
Still
it.
$1, but it's.
Still $1, yeah, but
Everybody
yeah,
else across.
it's still less money.
Because last year when we did that stipend, was it figured on the yearly deal, but it was. what was
If
it
you were
based on?
part-time, you just got half.
Yep.
Same way.
Yes, yeah.
Well,
So I'm good with going with the dollar raise side because we can afford it. Give me y'all's thoughts.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
I'm good with this.
Watch our budget everywhere else. I mean, I think everybody, I think all departments have done a good job this year in trying to keep everything to a minimum.
I agree. I think a lot of them have cut. I know Lana has. I mean, a bunch of them have done it. So that's a good thing.
Hey, us, appreciate what you did.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Sound like a dollar?
I sound like a dollar. If everybody's good with it, then we're in budget workshop. We ain't got to vote on it. We're just good with it. What else? That's it. Other than just being frugal. I'm waiting. Good.
So then work on our dates and all that. For the-
We got to file the budget by the 15th.
So Monday, I'll come back with all the.
Then we'll have the proposed. We'll have the proposed. We'll look over it, look at it. We're good with all of that. And then I will file it with her office. And then we'll roll from there. And then we have the hearing on the tax on the 17th. Okay. And anyway, I just go ahead and say I appreciate all y'all. We all got to work together. We'll get through all this. Please feel free if you have any questions. Talk to me, talk to each other, talk to the auditor, whatever you need. And the town hall is on the 10th for the courthouse. That's the next deal on the deal. So we have a meeting on the 10th. So if you have folks that for or against or have questions, they need to be there because I would hope that the court's going to look at the folks that show up.
You did run the paper right a couple times.
It's in the paper.
3 times.
In the paper, it's on Facebook, It's on all the different things, so people cannot say they ain't been aware. So if anybody's watching today, it's on the 10th at 5:30 here at the courthouse. And
Share it to our Facebook too.
and they've shared it to their Facebook, so, I hope that the folks out there that are listening or that are watching this, or whatever the case may be, that you show up and let us know what your thoughts are, because I would hope that the court will go on the people that show up, and the decisions that they make that day is how we proceed forward. And that would be what I would ask. Because it's like, speak now or forever hold your peace. It's been said before. Anything else? Commissioner Staton?